What do you think right now is the fastest way to get to your first $100,000?
By not liking the word fast. I'm really scared of that word. I think fast is dangerous, and I think it's a big part of my content. That's why I talk about patience. That's why I talk about self-awareness. The reality is, to actually answer you literally, the fastest way to get there is through self-awareness. Understanding what you're actually good at, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, like, what are you good at? You might be good at sales, you might be good at operations, you might be good at knowing everything about the Marvel universe, and that is actually your gateway to get there fastest, because it's through content or flipping stuff on eBay and stuff of that nature. So I think people try to chase trends, real estate, crypto, cannabis, AI. They're just constantly looking at these trends because they see them as things that will get them there fast. And I actually think that those are the things that are most guaranteed to not get you there. So I think if we can get the word fastest out of everyone's mouth, especially under 30, and get the word happiest and most likely in there. So ask that question again by replacing fastest with happiest and most likely. Go ahead, let's do that.
What do you think is the most likely way to get to $100,000?
In the happiest way is like, what is the question I'm most passionate about? You know, and then that answer becomes super unique. You know, of course there's macro things. If you like selling, understanding e-commerce and social media is gonna really help. Obviously, if you really know how to use Shopify and you really know how to make TikToks and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, there's a real path to 100,000 selling almost anything. This is why I'm big on passions and hobbies. I believe almost every passion and hobby. I always use Dustin and his BMX passion, or me and wrestling, or the New York Jets, or hip hop music, or drawing, or meditation, or eating clean and healthy. Like, there's so many ways to get to 100,000 by being a creator, by sharing in revenue with the platforms, by selling t-shirts about what you do, about selling tickets to a live event. Like, in 2 years working hard, making content, and I mean really making content, multiple posts a day across all the platforms around your favorite passion, wine. I did that in 2006 when it was hard. And it can be very narrow. I mean, I really do believe in 2 or 3 years, you can make $100,000 a year just talking about Ohio State football, because your podcast and your content is a top 10 because you really knew it and loved it and you were good at it. And so I always push people towards that because it will be the happiest way. If you're in love with snow globes, making $100,000 a year selling snow globes versus making $130,000 a year being a real estate agent, the path to that in the same 3-year window was extremely joyful in snow globe land and probably stressful in real estate land, but your friends told you that's the way you can make 100,000 because real estate is a really good business, right? And so I think about this a lot, and I think the word fastest is the danger, because I think fastest leads us to doing things we don't love. It leads us to doing things because we love the idea of making money to do the things we love. Think about that. You have somebody in that scenario who wants to be a real estate agent so she can afford a trip to the National Snow Globe Conference and Convention and do it bougie. She's tired driving for 9 hours to it and staying at the Holiday Inn. She wants to fly first class and stay at the Four Seasons at the National Snow Globe Convention. And that is one of the reasons that she decided to be a real estate agent, versus understanding what I'm saying, which is start the Snow Globe podcast, make tons of Snow Globe content, realize that there's millions of people that collect snow globes, start an affiliate eBay business, make t-shirts, get sponsors from the top 10 snow globe companies by emailing them and telling them a year in that you actually have an audience. These are things that excite me more. The days of just posting aimlessly a video or picture are getting harder to win because everyone's doing it and it's supply and demand. So now understanding the science behind the art. What's the thumbnail look like? What's your copy look like? What time do you post? How does TikTok work differently than Instagram? I'm working on a new book called Day Trading Attention, and it goes very deep into this. It's a 301 to my book that really helped a lot of people in social called Jab, 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 Right Hook. I would call this like a PhD to that high school course, and I'm excited about it. And what it really opened my eyes to, which was in my conscious and subconscious, but as I'm going through this 6-month period, working with Raghav, who's helping me write it, it's just so clear how hard it is to be great at social in 2024. And to be great, you've gotta really know your craft. You gotta be better. And so the trend is being better, Like really understanding, should you post a reel or should you post a carousel? Posted something the other day and got immediate feedback that it was working from somebody live and this Saturday. So last Friday or Thursday, I posted a post that said, hey, have you been noticing that on Instagram, I'm posting a 2-post carousel where the first one is a meme and the second one is the video clip that you were accustomed to seeing me just post. I'm not doing that for my health. I'm doing that because I've observed that it's working. You should consider this too. Sure enough, I think the real Tarzan, that influencer, I saw him on Saturday in Utah at a conference and he came up to me, he's like, bro, you're a fucking genius, thank you. Like the first post I did with that tactic, I did a lot better than I've been doing last month, thank you. And that's the ultimate for me when I do content that someone else takes it and runs, and so I'm doing this podcast. I'm hoping someone becomes the Snow Globe podcaster and emails me in 4 years. That thank you card, whether in DM, email, or in person, is like the most delicious feeling for me professionally right now. So that's why I continue to do this work. Anyway, nonetheless, I think the biggest tactic is to actually realize there's science, there's strategy, and this isn't just being pretty or funny or like just gimmicky anymore. Like you've got to get great at it. And so we call it at VaynerX SOC, strategic organic content. Strategic, why? I want everybody right now to ask themselves why they posted the last or the next post. And most of it is grounded in their subconscious that something like this used to work and I want it to work in the algorithm. That's not good enough anymore. And this whole philosophy is grounded in something we call PAC, platforms and culture. So really understanding the platforms, how YouTube Shorts works, but then also understanding culture. Like why are corduroy hats in? Why did Sexy Red work? You know, why? Why is everyone infatuated with Taylor Swift and Kelsey, right? It's not just two celebrities getting together. It's a little bit of like that all-American kind of like, you know, football player and the cheerleader pop star. You know what I mean? Like understanding the deeper meaning and understanding what that means to you and understanding is there anything for you to do about it? That's what I spend my time on.
I had never heard of Kelsey until last week.
Correct. And so the question becomes like, what is that? Like, you know, is that true love? Is that pop culture strategy? Is that, you know, for me, what that learning is for everyone is forget about the gossip of it all, because that always gets buckery, and I always feel bad for, you know, people that have a relationship in the public eye, because that's incredibly challenging. Whether they choose to do it or not, I still have a lot of empathy towards that. What I think is, let's take that down to somebody who's a mechanic right now listening. The fuck does Taylor Swift and Kelsey have to do with me? Here's what it has to do with you, Donnie the mechanic. What you just said, this morning I see how many people now follow Kelsey that didn't a week ago. Those are people that didn't know who that was. On the flip side, for Taylor, there's a lot of football fans who now know her a little more because she had more awareness, right? Well, for Donnie the mechanic, that might mean in his local town in Detroit, he may want to go do a collaboration with a Thai restaurant where maybe they do something silly together where they cook a meal at the auto shop, and in return, he gives everyone a free meal at that restaurant if they use a tune-up with him for a month. Because the bigger thing in the Kelsey Taylor Swift thing from a small business standpoint was cross-pollinating audiences that have no crossover leads to more business. And I didn't really know what the word candor meant at the time, but when I look back at my career at this point, it's very clear to me that that is the, you know, that was the kryptonite. That things were going super well and things went well and things are well, but the one place where I could have really taken it to the next level would have been, when I look back at my career, all of the professional relationships that could be better today, and I really believe in relationships, were predominantly employees, occasionally partners and vendors, where I wasn't capable of delivering bad news out of actually loving them and liking them. And that then led to muckery, resentment on my end, sloppy exits and firings or partnership breakups. And so over the last 3-4 years, I think I've been able to up my candor game dramatically by reframing it as kind candor. And that's really worked for me. I'm still probably a 5 out of 10, which is not really great. But boy, going from a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 to a 5 or 6 out of 10 has been a monster jump. And I feel the effects, and that is definitely the black and white answer to if I could do it at 25 differently.
So what's the lack of candor you had at 25? And then now, if someone is underperforming at your company, what kind of candor do you have with them?
I'm just able to have the conversation. hey Johnny, can I get 15 minutes with you? Hey, listen, brother, I love you. You're a good dude. You do a lot of things right, but this and this that you're not doing well, it's so detrimental that it might lead to us not being able to work together. So can we work on it? And here's how I can help, and here's how you can help. That combo just didn't happen before. It would come out and I'd walk by Johnny and be like, hey Johnny, get your game up, brother, ha ha. I would do these little things and if I was close to you, I would razz you. I would try to communicate through a joke or a razz that was heavily, dipped in honey and sugar so it wouldn't hurt. I was just being around the bush. And so now it's what does it look like? Even having the combo, just even having it. And the reason I'm 5 out of 10 is even when I'm having them now, I gotta really get there to be oh no, you gotta shoot it straight, because it's in me to be around the bush in that scenario. And I'm really, really practicing on going right at it, and it's really been helpful.